Today we're going to talk about value proposition. So what is value proposition? A truly great value proposition introduces you to prospective buyers and helps you make a strong first impression. Your value proposition should describe how your product or services solve and improve problems, what benefits customers can expect, and why customers should buy yours over other competitors. So let's unpack that a little bit. I want you to look at that statement and really pick out what are the most important words in this statement. What helps you understand what a value proposition is? So let's dive a little bit deeper. So if we're trying to think about this, a value proposition really helps you understand how your product solves that problem or how your service solves that problem, what benefits it has, and why people should buy you over other competitors. This is not a slogan. So this is associated with marketing, but it's not your marketing slogan. So good value propositions have a few different things. They're very clear. They're very easy to understand and use very simple language. They communicate specifically to tell what results the customer should expect. So they're value oriented to the customer. They explain how they're different and how they're better based upon their features, and they can be read and understood very quickly. So let's look at two companies and kind of compare them and look and see what they're doing to kind of differentiate themselves to their customers. So these are two different search engines. So both are search engines, not Google, and both of them have a different value proposition. So they're not really looking to gain the same kind of customer. So I want you to look at them. This one is DuckDuckGo. This search engine is trying to tell you that you can search privately without tracking. And this one is Ecosia, and this one plants trees when you search. So I want you to look at these two. You're welcome to go check them out on the web as well. And I want you to look at them and think, okay, which one is meeting their customers' needs best? So look at that, try to kind of get a sense of which one is providing that value to their customer. Because notice, it's two very different customers, even though it's essentially the same product. So let's get started on how to develop a value proposition. What I want you to do, and we're going to kind of scaffold this down, is to really understand how you develop a value proposition and how you know what it is. So we're going to write these down on a Word doc, or you can handwrite it. Either way, you can send it as a picture too. So what I want you to do is I want you to start with your industry. Really think about, what is your industry? Are you in the marketing industry, the restaurant industry, maybe the fashion industry? What's your industry? And within your specified industry, what is your expertise? What sets you apart from your competition? So I want you to write that down. I want you to write down what your industry is and then how you're different than any of your competition. You can use some of the activities that we did yesterday as well for this. So think about when you were doing your competition analysis, think about when you were looking at your customer, what kinds of things helped you identify what sets you apart from your competitors. Jot that down. So now the second thing I want you to look at, I want you to figure out who your target audience is. And you've already done this. You have a customer profile. You have an understanding of who your customer is. So I want you to jot down, who are you really selling to in just a sentence, and then why are they interested in your company? So one sentence just describing who your customer is, and you can pull some information from our previous activities, and why are they interested in our company? What is it that is trying to get you to have those customers? So the third question I want you to answer on that Word doc is, how will your product or service solve a problem? And you've already identified this through our reflections. So I want you to just kind of pull together your thoughts about what we talked about with this. Think about how the products or services that you've bought lately and how they're designed to solve problems. Everything that you kind of purchase or services that you're given are all solving problems that you have. So I want you to take a step back and look at your company in terms of solutions. What pain points are you taking away from people? And then I want you to consider kind of your position, your product or service as a helpful resource that makes It's so that customers can't do without your product. Make it a point of bringing to light the potential consequences that people might have if they opt out of resolving their issue using your product. What consequences could you consider? So what things are people not going to be able to get if they don't use your product or service? And jot your answers to those down. So before we fully identify our value propositions, I want us to look at a few examples, and this will help us develop that really great solid description. So answering those 3 questions and then looking at these examples should be able to get us there. So let's look at the examples. So this one is for Uber, and here's their value proposition. Tap the app, get a ride. Uber is the smartest way to get around. One tap and a car comes directly to you. Your driver knows exactly where to go, and the payment is completely cashless. So I want you to look at this example and determine this. What specific benefits can customers expect from Uber? What does this value proposition say? These are the things that you're going to get if you go with our company. Let's look at another example. This one is for iPhone. So I want you to look at this. This is their value proposition. Why there's nothing quite like an iPhone. Every iPhone we've made, and we mean every single one, was built on the same belief that a phone should be more than a collection of features. That above all, a phone should be absolutely simple, beautiful, and magical to use. So let's think about this value proposition. How is this value proposition showing how the company is solving a problem or improving on a situation? So last example, this is actually a local flower arranging company. So I want you to look at this example on the right. So what is this company doing with their value proposition to explain why customers should buy their product or service instead of a competitor's? So theirs is broken up into a couple different pages, but it says, enjoy a unique local flower experience in the studio. 80% of the flowers sold in the U.S. are grown overseas. We buy our flowers from local growers. Local color flowers is a fantastic choice for an eco-conscious wedding, and our classes are a fun way to learn floral design using green practices. So consider, how is this showing why customers should buy this product or service instead of a competitor? There are tons of flower shops in the Baltimore area. Why this one? So now you're going to get to design your own value proposition. I want you to look at the example work that we did, as well as your answers to the 3 questions that we described. And I want you to develop your own value proposition. You're going to write this at the bottom of that worksheet that you were using for your previous questions, so the Word document that you were typing on. So I want you to have a value proposition showing how the company is solving a problem or improving on a situation. It should show what specific benefits customers can expect, and it should show why customers should buy your product or service instead of a competitor. It should be between 2 to 5 statements or sentences. Sentences should be short, powerful, and easy to understand. And use your answers to questions in this activity to help you craft your response. So you're going to post this to the Dropbox when you finish up, and I'll grade it based upon these 3 credentials. So you want to make sure that you explain how it's solving a problem, why it benefits, and why customers should buy their product or service instead of a competitor. But remember, you want to make sure that it's written in a way that's clear and simple while getting at those 3 things.